the LE Pro 3 may look a little too familiar, it is honestly just too hard not to think that this phone greatly resembles the OnePlus 3, right down to the antenna lines and the lens popping out at the top. Users might actually mistake the two if they happen to have them lying side by side. We just really felt the need to call that out, so with that out of the way, we can step back and explore the cues. Leeco's phone has a metal body with a very glossy look and feel, which puts a fingerprint reader on the back in lieu of capacitive buttons underneath the screen. With a 5.5-inch screen, the phone is not at all hard to maneuver in one hand, and it helps that the body is a bit thicker than most of the slim profiles we've gotten this past year. The glossy material does take to fingerprints rather quickly, but not egregiously. One main aspect to note is that there is no headphone jack found on this phone. An adapter has to be used in order to port the USB-C. Speaking of audio, a bottom-mounted speaker is accompanied by the phone speaker that works double time for calls and media. 5.5-inch screen helps in the handling experience, though an affordable phone like this had to cut a few corners to keep the costs down. As such, this is an IPS display that comes with an unsurprising 1080p resolution. As an IPS display, it does get plenty bright even in broad daylight, but it seems a bit muted in its colors, noticeably lacking in vibrancy and saturation. This is in the standard Leeco color mode found in the display settings, even though there is a vivid mode that is available for that extra bit of punch. The easiest problem to see at first glance is the sizable bezel that is around the entire display. It can almost be considered the mark of a budgeted phone, and it is plain to see in the LE Pro 3. Pixel density is obviously not as high as it would have been if this were a Quad HD screen, but it is still plenty for text and general sharpness. Reading text and websites is not difficult, and games are still fun to play despite the need for a little better coloration. One last inconsistency came from the fingerprint reader. It often felt like I needed to hit it multiple times just to get it to trigger, making it a little annoying to wake and unlock the phone on more than a few occasions. It may be fixed with a future update, but the fingerprint sensor definitely requires refining further and doesn't have the responsiveness offered by other OEMs. 32 GB of storage is available with the base model of the Leeco LE Pro 3. But 64 GB and 128 GB are also available at a further premium. Our unit has 64 GB, which gives enough space for plenty of applications and media.